So let's talk some football.
Yeah.
You ready to talk some football?
Let's do it.
I want to, before we talk a little Monday Night Football and how the season has gone, I wanted to ask you a question about your former coach and where you won one of your Super Bowls, the Tampa Bay Bucks with Jon Gruden.
Yeah.
The perception from guys like us and from fans is Jon Gruden has no idea what's going on and he's making a mockery of the Raiders. Tell me how I am wrong.
I don't know if I can.
Okay.
Here's what I will say. I think, I played for Jon, and Jon helped me win one of my championships. So I got a lot of respect for Jon and what he did in Tampa. The reason Jon got fired in Tampa is because Jon wasn't a people person. Mm-hmm. And Jon was very disingenuous to a lot of people down there. And I think that goes without saying. And so I watched Jon for 9 years do Monday Night Football, and I'm like, oh, man, this guy's changed. Like, things are different now. And then you come out, our first game, we go, Rams-Raiders, you go out, production meeting, Jon sits down, and same Jon. And I think what you're seeing now is that Jon loves Jon.
Yeah.
It's about Jon. And, you get rid of Khalil Mack, you get rid of Amari Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure why in the hell you do that, because they're two really, really good players, cornerstones you build around. And you say, okay, well, now we're going to go young. When you go young in the NFL, that means you're basically saying we're going to lose and we'll figure it out later, which is what the Raiders are doing. And I know they won Monday night against Denver, and everybody's like, they got all these draft picks. But the bottom line, draft picks don't win games. Players do. Yeah. And when you get good players, you should keep them.
Right. If you got a Khalil Mack, that's all you can hope for out of a first-round pick. That's a generational player for your franchise.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So when he was coaching you down in Tampa, we see a lot of this stuff with him where he's making his players watch film from 1975 or whatever. Did he ever break out any of the old film for you guys and be like, hey, look how they did it back when we wore the creamsicles?
No, because Jon was about Jon, man. So he didn't want to really give a lot of credit to other people.
Right.
He would pull out some of his own film when he was coaching in Green Bay or Philly, and to kind of show you what they did. And Spider 2 wide banana. Here's a great play that I came up with. But Jon's a really, really good offensive guy. He's a really, really good me guy. He's struggled, which is why I think he's going to have a hard time turning the Raiders, whether they're Los Angeles, Oakland, Las Vegas, whatever you want to call them, turning them back into winners. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think he can adapt to this player in this day and age right now, which is a different player.
Right. So going back to that first production meeting you had with him, it sounds like the relationship is cold. Like, is he like, hey, Booger, remember when we won a Super Bowl together, or is it?
Jon was cordial. He was professional. He and I really don't like each other. I think if you've been around the industry, I think people know that.
Okay.
Jon traded me from Tampa.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I get it. I was making a lot of money. You wanted to use the money somewhere else, fine. I'll tell you a story. This is a funny story. So I get traded, and it's kind of devastating. Like, you're 27 years old, feeling pretty good. All of a sudden you get a phone call, hey, we're going to trade you, GM Bruce Allen. Like, okay. So then that's Tuesday at like 5 o'clock. Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock, I got to be on a plane going to Indy. And literally changed everything, dude. And I'm like it changes everything, how you live, what's going on. Like, it changes your life. And it took me a while to adjust to that. Now, I had great people in Indy. Tony Dungy was phenomenal. It feels good to be wanted, Mm-hmm. I think we would all agree with that. Win the Super Bowl in Indy, come back to Tampa because I was trying to get the hell out of Indy. It was 0 degrees. I'm like, Boog don't do cold weather, so I got to get back home. Seriously. I land. That night I go to a popular restaurant in Tampa, open the door with my boys, first two people I see, Jon Gruden and Bruce Allen. And it took everything that I learned as a young man and the respect that my mom taught me not to just say, you know what, screw you, man.
Right.
But I didn't say anything. I just said, hello, Jon. Hello, Bruce.
You won a Super Bowl, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was, to me, I don't believe life has coincidences. I believe things happen for a reason. And for me to get traded, go win a Super Bowl, have the ill will toward Jon, and I'm sure he has it toward me, and to open that door and to look, and there's Jon and Bruce, just, you know what, that's kind of what life is all about.
That's a nice, sweet moment.
Yeah,
right
absolutely.
He strikes me as one of these coaches that comes back for their second bite of the apple, kind of like Joe Gibbs did a few years ago, where you get back and you just say, we're going to play old school football and we're just going to out-physical the other team. And that's tough to do because guess what? Every other team has really strong players as well.
Right.
So I don't know. He doesn't seem to have adapted his offense at all.
He's trying to, though, because, like right now, like the new thing with offense is what Sean McVay's doing, the innovative passing game. Can Derek Carr do some of the things that Jared Goff is doing? Sure, but John's got to open the offense up. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Andy Reid is a classic example of a guy that's reinvented everything he does.
Yeah.
Think about Andy Reid at Philly. West Coast offense, dink and dunk. Pretty good quarterback, Donovan McNabb, a lot of success. Now it's RPO, it's Tyreek Hill, it's jet sweeps, it's Patrick Mahomes. He's changed the entire game, and that's what coaches do. Coaches adapt to their players, and I think that's the biggest problem so far I've seen with John. John is still about John. He's still about coming in at 3:17 in the morning, writing his own cue cards. He's got to change that. If he can't, he'll be successful. If he can't, he'll probably be with you guys in a couple years.
Well, that's okay. We'd have him on the show for sure.
Yeah.
Coaches like that, it's interesting because I think that a franchise like the Raiders will probably be willing to spend a little bit of money in free agency, but you see some other franchises like the Redskins, maybe Tampa Bay to a certain extent, where you're out there and you're actively courting free agents, but the kind of guys that are going to join your franchise and take that money are not necessarily the guys that you would want to build a franchise around. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, because and here's the thing about free agency in the NFL. How many times do you get generational players changing teams?
No, because usually the guys who are free agents are free agents for a reason.
Exactly.
And they're, either over the hill or about to be over the hill.
Or the team that they're coming from doesn't want them,
Right.
which usually gives you like a red flag also.
Right.
I mean, like right now, like this offseason, I'd bet your money and my money that Rob Gronkowski's probably going to be available this offseason.
Yeah,
Right.
I would say so too.
And people are going to say, man, Gronk's available. But if you watch Gronk play, Gronk isn't the same Gronk anymore. Like he can't run the way he used to. But you'll look at the name Gronkowski and somebody will pay him a boatload of money thinking he can do something for them. But Bill Belichick let him go, and we all think that Bill Belichick is the smartest coach ever.
He tried to trade him in the offseason.
To Detroit.
That should tell you everything.
There you go.
Right.
That's my point.